I'm at Gold Hill, near Virginia City, and I'm gonna walk around the cemetery this morning, and you can see the valley down below is filled with smoke from the California fires, and it had cleared up yesterday, but I guess the wind is gonna start blowing in from the west again, and the valleys, even though there is no wind right now, are already filled with smoke. But right down here is the cemetery. This one is not as well upkept as the Virginia City cemeteries. This one's a lot more run down. But I wanted to get here earlier in the morning so it wasn't as hot before the wind started blowing. So we're just gonna walk around here, and then if the roads are good enough that go around the side of the hill here, we're gonna go, and there are some off the road, like they're on trails, little cemeteries that are just kind of tucked on the hillside, with one or two graves here and there. Some of them are surrounded by fencing and others aren't. Yeah, a lot of the tombstones or headstones, I should say, up here have been vandalized and removed and then replaced. Virginia City and Gold Hill, Silver City has a cemetery as well. A lot of graves from the 1800s. A lot were miners. You can see this headstone has been torn down and broken in half. It's from 1891. Some of the graves aren't even marked anymore. They're just surrounded by this fencing. Now, in the cemeteries, people still are currently being buried, so you will see some new headstones mixed in. But, like, these are just cracked and no writing or engraving on them. 1886, and then try to get my shadow out of the way. There's one back in the bushes here from 1888. James Gladding. All throughout here there's old metal. You can kind of find everywhere you go in Nevada. But you can see the cemetery just kind of stretches over the side of the hill. It's not terribly big. And we are between, well, we're in Gold Hill. We're between Silver City and Virginia City is up around that, like to the right side of that mountain up in there. And a lot of these people came from other countries, moving here for the mining. Comstock miners were some of the highest paid miners in the world at that time. You can see these three headstones are very closely placed. So we've got the Williams and John Cock. Both were from England, both from Cornwall. And I guess John Cock was related to John Williams. So that's probably why they were together here. walk around the other side here, but this one is one that's on the ground, and the cement slab is split for whatever reason, probably water. We do have earthquakes. These headstones have all been replaced. The headstone is completely in two. I don't know how people would move these. I mean, they're really heavy, so I don't get the point of breaking them and moving them. Again, the shadow the sun is going to cause as I walk around. I'm going to try to keep my shadow out of the way, but you can see here a lot of the headstones were actually made from wood, and this area does tend to have a lot of fires. So I do not know, obviously, who this belongs to, but this cemetery and the ones in Virginia City have a lot of these wooden head markers. This is completely overgrown. There are a few headstones in here from 1887. And maybe again, this is just one. Well, I see one. Nope, that's the wall over there. But this one is off of its base. So it's probably been off for a while, considering the growth around it. Most of this has been worn away by the weather. $1865. This one is Richard Bray, who lost his life by the bursting of the flywheel. Now I know there were flywheels on the Cornish pumps, so I'm wondering if that's the kind of flywheel they were talking about. Don't often see the cause of death on some of these, so Massachusetts. So these three have fairly new flowers on them. Last name of Bickles, so family must have come. This one has been fairly well vandalized. A lot of people in this section from Cornwall, England. can see animal prints. I know that deer come through here. Here are 3 more wooden headstones, and you can see some of them that still have the writing on it. The words would I don't know, what do I want to say? The letters were sticking out and they would be painted. So not engraved, but you know. That's, I think, the only one we can read. There's nothing left on these other 2. Just part of the stone. Both just children. Yeah, a lot of scrap metal. This section might be an older section, and I don't know that, but the condition of it is a lot worse than the section we were just in. I'm not sure if these poles were the original fencing that was here. before the metal fence was put up. Most of this one is gone. This one's 1868. More from Cornwall. So this looks like the actual main entrance. There's nowhere to park here really, so I did not come in this way. You can see a very old donation box, most likely from when this was being upkept. Now there's just a little wasp nest in there. Just have that one corner up there to go to, and then we're finished with this Gold Hill section. And then we'll go to some of the off-road places. 1902. This one over here is 1914. So this seems to be a newer section. Yeah, 1918. Okay, well, we're going to leave this main section and go hit the trails. We're about a half a mile from the Gold Hill Cemetery, and we're going to be hitting that hillside, and there are several grave sites throughout. And over there, right now, there are horses grazing. So we're going to go over there, not scare the horses, and walk along that hillside and take a look at all of the grave sites. I'm at the other hillside, and I'm coming up to the various grave sites. The horses are still all grazing up there, so hopefully I don't spook them. I'd like to get a little closer so I could see them. Technically, I will have to find out what this burial area is. I don't believe it's connected with the Gold Hill Cemetery at all, but I honestly just don't know. There go the horses. I'm far enough away from them that I didn't spook them. Something made a noise over there and they kind of all jumped. They're all back up in the trees there too. You can see the different eras of fencing in the wooden and metal styles. One gravestone all the way up there. Seems to be by itself, I'm not sure. They're all watching me. One little baby. I like to keep my distance so I don't scare them. I'm going up to this next cemetery up on the hill. So I'm just going to go slowly around them. Okay, there are deer. I don't know if you can see them, but up by this cemetery. Just hopping the fence. There might be too much of a sun glare, I don't know. They're just watching me. Busy morning at the cemetery. So these are the 1880s as well. They're still watching me. So we have several locations that seem to have markers. See the truck all the way down there. I had to park because I wasn't sure if I'd make it up the dusty rocks, and I didn't want to get stuck. $1874. Wonder where the horses went all the way down in the valley over there. But I think we've reached the end of the burial plot. I see a fence line there, so I'm sure this is it. I just want to read what the sign says on the other side of this fence. Maybe it'll tell us the name. Oh. It's too bad I can't read it. I see notice and archaeological and destroy in persons, but it's really hard to read the rest. Please close the gate. United States Department of the Interior, Bureau of Land Management. I don't think they've been here for quite a while because this gate is not very well maintained. So this is why I didn't want to drive up this road. When I was down at the bottom looking up, I couldn't tell how badly certain areas would be washed out. And the loose, like, dirt really makes traction hard. So. Always the old scrap metal. Who knows how many sites were up here? You know, a lot of the fencing was just scattered. So it's hard to say how many graves were here. Or still are here, just unmarked. $1883. Placard with no name. This was the one up on the hill that looked like it was by itself. $1890. Ireland. County Cork, Ireland. It looks like there were many, many burial plots up here. Wonder if I can find any written record of the spot. No date on this. You can see all of the remnants of the fencing for the site markers, the site boundaries. I hope you enjoyed touring the Gold Hill cemeteries with me. Thanks for watching.